Alright, so this is part 2 of our help video. And what I did is I went ahead and set up the same line plot that you guys have at the bottom of your page on the homework. Going back to the homework, you guys can see I've got the line plot down here along the bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to look at our data chart. Here's our data chart. And we're going to take all this information, all these different lengths of mice. Here's a mouse that's 3 inches long. Here's a mouse that's 4 inches long. And we're going to put it all on our line plot. When I look here, I notice right away that the numbers it does give me is a 3, and it gives me a 3 and 3/4. So let me go ahead and plot those right away. We might as well, just to get them done. So here's 1, 3. That's going to be an X. Another 3 will be an X. And that's all the 3s. And I'm looking here at my key down here. It says each X equals 1 mouse. So I've got 2 mice, 1, 2, that are 3 inches long. So 1 mouse and 2 mouses. Mice. It's been a long day. And then looking at 3 and 3/4, which it gives us 2. Let's find that. Here's 1 3 and 3/4 inch mouse. Here's a second mouse that's 3 and 3/4. Here's a third mouse that's 3 and 3/4. I think that's it. So let me draw 3 X's. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to put your title up here. Don't forget to label down here. Remember, when you're labeling, you're just saying what is it that each of these numbers down here mean. What are those? Okay, so we've got a lot of our numbers out of the way actually already. What we have to do is finish labeling our line plot. So we need a number that's going to go here. We need a number that needs to go here, 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 and here, since it only gave us a couple numbers so far. So going over to my drawing pad, what they want you to do here is look at the numbers they give you and kind of figure out what the pattern is. It's just like our number lines from 2nd grade, where I don't know if you remember on your daily math, you might have 5, blank, 15, 20, and you know that a 10 would go here because you're counting up by 5s. So you're kind of just filling in the blanks here to get your number line ready to go, so you can do your line plot. So what they want to do here is, looking at, you have a 3 and you have a 3 and 3/4. What they want you to do is, let's go back to our kind of a ruler here and think about a ruler for a minute. I have 1 inch here, 2 inches here, 3, 4, 5. If I'm measuring something, our 3 over here means that a mouse is 3 inches long. In other words, the mouse would be from here's 3 inches long. So it'd be this long, as long as that yellow line I just drew. And what we need to do is, again, is figure out what one second. We need to figure out what's going to go in these blank spaces. You don't have to draw the circles here. I'm just drawing them so that we know some numbers are going to have to go in each of these. And the way they want you to do this is, again, if you see we have a 3 here, you got a 3 and 3/4 over here. What I can figure out is that if I take, looking back up my ruler, if I take my 3, anything after the 3, let's break it down into 4 small parts. I know I only drew 3 lines, but it's really 4 parts, because this space here would be a part, there'd be another part here, there's a 3rd part, and there's a 4th part. So what we're going to do is, that helps us to see that our number line down here for our line plot is going to go up by 1/4 each time. Here's 1 out of 4, here's 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4 parts, and 4 out of 4 parts. So we still have our 3 inches though, we can't forget that. So we'd have 3, and the next one up would be 1 out of 4. Then the next spot up, we would have had 2 of those little parts, so 2 out of the 4 little parts. Then the 3 out of 4 little parts. And then next comes, this is where it gets a little tricky. Your next spot, if you're going up by 1/4, would be 3 and 4 out of 4. But you know that if you have 4 out of 4 of something, in other words, watch what I'm going to do here on my ruler. If we have 3 and then 4/4, or 4 out of 4 parts, here's 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, that takes me to the next whole number, because 4 parts really equals 1 whole. In other words, if you had a pizza and you put it into 4 parts, you colored in all of them, that's going to equal 1 whole pizza. So 4 out of 4 is really the same as 1 whole number. So instead of putting 3 4/4, we're just going to call that, since 4/4 is 1, and we already have 3 holes plus 1 hole would be 4 holes. So I'll put a 4 here. Then when I'm at the 4, I got to break down to my next 4 parts up here. So 4 and 1 part out of 4. Oh, oops, sorry. Let me erase that. Put that in the wrong spot. So 4 and 1/4. And then this next one will be 4 and 2/4. Now let's go back. We're going to erase a couple of things on our number line here for a second. We do have, I keep seeing these 2/4. And I can't help but think, when I see 2/4, I'm picturing my pizzas again. If you have 2/4 of something, that's really just half the pizza, right? Because whatever's left over, this stuff in white here, it makes up half of the entire pizza. So instead of 2/4, let's put 1 out of 2 parts, like 1/2. And I'll show you why. When we go over to our homework again, there's nothing that says 2/4 on it, okay? There's nothing that says 2/4, but there are things that say 1/2. And since 2/4, actually, let's ignore the pizza. Let's even go with the sandwich here. If I said I'm going to give you 2/4 of a sandwich, let's pretend that square is a sandwich. If I'm going to give you 2/4, I'm really just giving you half the sandwich. You can see that half of the sandwich is colored in. So they just called it 1/2 instead of 2/4. They really mean the exact same thing. It's the same amount. 2/4 is the same amount as 1/2. So now we're good to, now that we've got our whole number line filled in, we are good to take our data and start plotting it. So again, we said these 3's, we put one mouse is 3 inches long, another mouse is 3 inches. For the 3/4, 3 and 3/4, sorry. There were 3 of those. We remember that down on our number line, there's 3 and 1/4. We didn't call it 2/4. We said that's really 2 out of 4 is the same as a half of something. 3 and 3/4, going up another 4th is going up another 4th. I'm going to give that 4/4, which is really 1 of something. So we have 4 and 1/4, and not 4 and 2/4 for this next one. This 4 and it's a half, same thing. This helps us to use the same numbers that we have in our data chart. So now I'm going to do my 4.5s next, just because I'm just kind of picking around here whenever I want, at whichever number I see on my number line. So 4.5 and 4.5. There's 2 of those. Two mice that are 4.5 inches long each. And then let's do the 4 1/4 next. 4 and 1/4. Here's a 4 1/4. Here's a 4 1/4. So there's 2 of those. Ooh, there are a lot of 4s. Let me circle those in red. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 mice that were 4 inches long. Notice I'm trying to keep everything in line too here. When it's at 1, I'm going to put all my first x's in line with each other. They're not going to be a little bit higher, a little bit lower than each other, otherwise it doesn't quite make a ton of sense. And then lastly, I have to do my 3